So about gay male misogyny. Okay, I'm going to share a bit more about my identity here. I'm a gay guy, and I want to talk about this whole narrative of gay male misogyny, which a quick Google search will give dozens of results to supposedly back it up. Now, let me tell you, I've been out of the closet for 20 years, and don't believe the hype. Gay men are almost never genuine misogynist, as we mostly have several female friends we love and trust, and have ever since we first came out. I realize that many or most feminists out there who are reading about this stuff are young and impressionable, but seriously, just give gay guys a chance to prove this myth wrong, and you will be pleasantly surprised. Gay men generally get along with women, much more so than lesbians or feminists get along with men, by like 1,000%. I know there are probably some gay men who don't like women or say crappy things, but the way it is exaggerated is downright dishonest and it is not helping anybody get along with each other, which should still be a priority. Feminist myth number 1. That gay men are misogynists for using the words bitch and cunt. Okay, there's several things wrong with this. First off, most women and girls I know use those words too. It's only feminists that have a problem with it. But of course, they don't care about women calling men dicks or motherfuckers as an insult, or even the more and more common use of the term bro as an insult. It's a double standard, so shut up. Gay men are oppressed more legally than lesbians with sodomy laws and denial of medical services, and also more in terms of hate crimes. So if you're going to attack us for word choices, it's just asinine to expect a double standard. So again, stop. You're being an asshole. Or don't stop. I personally don't really care. But if you're going to call a 34-year-old gay man a bro as an insult, expect to be called a cunt in return. And don't write a blog article about how misogynist gay men are because of it. And if you did, we all know what you're going to say. You'll say that when gay men call each other bitches or cunts, that it is somehow extra insulting to the guys because we are referring to the men as women, and that is the worst thing that we can think of, or something. This is basically entirely in the feminist imagination, and by the way, thanks for telling gay men how we think. Apparently there's actually a word for that in the Urban Dictionary called womansplaining, and maybe it's going to be soon in the Oxford, like mansplaining. I don't know. I'll tell you the honest truth. Gay men call each other bitches and cunts in what I would best describe as camaraderie. While we are usually insulting each other by saying somebody is bitchy and cunty, we are also subtly signaling to whoever is listening that a guy is still a member of the gay community or family, instead of somebody that is completely foreign to us. Gay men also talk about each other as being sisters to, saying, oh, hey, Kyle's my sister, meh. So I can't get into all the reasons why, but you're going to have to take my word for it that it's not a bad thing when we say it. If it were a super bad thing, don't you think that gay men would call straight men bitches and cunts more often? How often do you hear gay men say that about straight men? It's rare. Usually we'll call them dicks and assholes. And remember, we generally hate them more than women because they were who picked on us in school, while women generally defended us. And thank you for defending us in school. Myth number 2. Gay men give rude, unsolicited advice to women about their appearance. Okay, this one I will admit that there's probably some truth to. But why do feminists get to complain that this is misogynist? I don't even think it's usually all that mean-spirited. Sometimes. Many gay men really appreciate the female figure and women's clothing artistically, which is why there are so many gay male designers. And most of us grew up going shopping with our girlfriends, female friends, that's what we'd call them back in the 90s, usually upon their request. So talking about fashion and makeup is often how we bond with women. I guess sometimes the criticisms from gay men can be insulting, but in what stretch of the imagination does that mean the guy hates women? Maybe he's just drunk and being kind of a jerk. Now, I'm going to assume that the most offensive comments women will complain about from gay men have to do with the whole slut shaming thing. But here's what to keep in mind. Gay men almost universally don't care if you are a slut. Gay men are 10 times as slutty as women, so the line between shaming and celebrating gets rather blurred. If a gay guy is seriously attacking a woman for looking slutty, I can't exactly endorse that. But it's really just in the same way that I don't necessarily think that women should attack each other for dressing slutty, which they do all the time. It's not so much because I think any of these people simply hate women if they're doing it. I just think it's tacky because I don't care if somebody is slutty. Though admittedly, occasionally I might make jokes about it because sometimes a girl just looks slutty and she looks kind of silly. But so what? I say that thing about slutty guys too. Who cares? Myth number 3, that gay men touch women without their consent frequently in a disrespectful manner, but can't be held accountable because they are gay. As if this is some big freaking problem that needs to be seriously cracked down on. I have many objections. And I also want to explain that fourth wave feminists have taken this idea and ran with it so far that we now have literally thousands of feminists on the internet posting in comment sections that they are frequently being sexually assaulted by gay men, usually at gay bars. Honestly, that is one of the craziest things I have ever heard in my life, and I think it is generally just rumor mill nonsense, blatant exaggeration, or just downright lies. Cat Black, you are one of the main feminist propagandist liars that has furthered this nonsense narrative, so I am looking at you. I'm really glad RuPaul blocked you on Twitter. You are a monster whose work should be blacklisted by the gay male community. You should be thrown into the trash like you do to last month's overpriced braided extension. So to debunk this, first off, gay men generally don't touch women at gay bars. They touch us. I cannot remember all the times I've been touched by women at gay bars. Places where I went, expecting not to get sexual advances from women. I generally don't think it's all that big of a deal, but it's so commonplace that I once was walking down the street in a gay neighborhood and had a bit of a tear in the back of my pants that still looked kinda cute, and some woman came up and put her finger through the hole and touched my ass from behind. Once, in my freshman year college dorm, I was woken up in the middle of the night by a girl that I knew, who climbed into bed with me when we were both in our underwear and kind of started cuddling with me. These are absolutely not uncommon things with girls. These weren't some bad apples. Ask any semi-attractive gay man about this, and he'll tell you that it happens all the time. Girls treat gay guys like their own personal petting zoo, and they do get sexual pleasure from touching us, unlike we to them. Meanwhile, it's them who is complaining about this supposed epidemic of gay men sexually assaulting women. Come the fuck on. I have literally never heard a woman complain about being touched inappropriately by a gay guy unless the subject had already come up in conversation and they decided to share a story about it. Generally on the internet, where we can't hear in their voice if they are exaggerating or lying. I have brought dozens or hundreds of women to gay bars, and never have they complained about this happening. Did it happen once or twice to somebody I know? Maybe. Did a gay guy slap a woman's ass when she didn't completely appreciate it? Sure, I'm sure it happens. But I have never even seen any indication at the time that a woman was actually bothered by it. Usually, they kind of invite it by first invading the guy's personal space or asking to be spanked directly. And I can't even remember the last time I saw a guy grab a woman's boobs, even though fourth wave internet feminists claim this happens all the time. I think they are generally full of shit. I mean, imagine what they are describing with me for a moment. Some woman is standing at a gay bar, minding her own business. La-di-da, I enjoy spending time at gay bars because I am an open-minded feminist that has well-defined personal boundaries, and I expect men to be able to behave themselves here. And then a gay man comes up. Well, you thought wrong, sweetie. Let me touch your boobies. No! Stop! I do not consent to your touching of my boobs! Get off of me, creep! Sorry, darling. I can do this because I'm gay, and there's not a thing that you can do about it. That's not true. I can call the bouncer. Help me! I am being sexually assaulted. He's not gonna save you here, sweetie. We're at a gay bar. He's working for me. I mean, seriously. That's basically what these women describe in the comment section. File under things that probably never actually happened in real life, and pay them no mind. Furthermore, how incredibly entitled does a woman have to be to enter into a space that wasn't completely intended for them, knowing goddamn well that nobody in there wants to have sex with you, and then keep careful track of every time one of these guys might have potentially touched you, and fabricate a story about how it was supposedly sexually assault, and tell everybody on the internet about it, especially considering how much the women probably touched the boys. We got to talking about this on my Facebook friend timeline, and this one woman I am friends with said it happened to her frequently, totally making it out to be some big deal. She went so far as to tag a specific gay guy that we are mutual friends with, saying he had touched her ass and it was super triggering or whatever. It reminded her of some sort of sexual assault she had experienced some other time. What happened? Well, he posted that he figured it was okay because she had already grabbed or slapped his ass countless times by the time that it happened. So he didn't feel it would be too big of a deal. Boom. Checkmate. So for all the feminists who are spreading this narrative about gay men, fuck off. What are you wanting out of this? Do you want gay men to have charges pressed on them for supposedly touching women? Do you want gay men to start pressing charges on all the women who touch us? Do you want gay bars to become a police state? Each and every one of these feminist myths about the gay male misogyny are all just perfect examples of feminist overreach, double standards, entitlement, and downright man-hating. Honestly, of all the women I know who complain about these things, the vast majority of them are some combination of queer, lesbian, and fourth-wave feminist. And I truthfully think that the only reason that they are feeling so entitled as to complain about gay men in these ways is that they almost never hang out with any straight guys, at least ones that aren't complete brainwashed male feminists. And when they end up hanging out with gay men, they realize that they can't pull the same mind control tricks on us because we're not trying to fuck them, and they get bitter because they are sore losers. Sorry, ladies, but you can't sell us all on the idea that we have male privilege, because gay men are more than 250% as likely to suffer from a violent hate crime than women, and we all know that. You can't convince all of us that homophobia against gay men is rooted in misogyny, because we've all heard of the Bible and the Quran. We've all heard the stories about gay men being accused of being pedophiles. We know some people think we'll rape other men if we have the chance, and we know people think that we're just irresponsible drug users that spread AIDS. Also, more and more gay guys are fully aware that being a gay male feminist will also never make the feminists happy. I legitimately think that the only thing that would make these women happy that try so hard to get gay men to be feminists would be if gay men actually started fucking them. Which actually happens on occasion, sometimes, once a certain gullible gay man is so thoroughly brainwashed by the fourth wave feminist that they decide gender is a social construct. But it never ends well, because gay men are gay because they almost universally want to fuck other cis gay men. Sometimes they like to fuck trans men too, but generally, usually cis gay men. Sorry, you can't change that. You can't change the fact that most gay men are attracted to masculine men. You just can't. You can't change the fact that most gay men think vaginas are unattractive. And you can't change the fact that if you start demonizing gay men with all these arbitrary problems that are mostly easily ignored, gay men are really going to get tired of you and they won't want you around. Gay men want to like women. You have to believe me. We want to have female friends, and we weren't just pretending to like you when we went to the prom with you in high school. But please, stop attacking us for being ourselves. Straight men are generally getting tired of feminists. They are starting to probably stick to dating and hanging out with non-feminist women because they are growing rapidly in number. If you attack gay men too, the result of all of this will be that the only people you'll be able to hang out with are man-hating lesbians. And we all know that is not a fun crowd, okay?